decorated Marine Special Operator who served in Afghanistan. You may recognize his face here because you saw him on this show earlier this month after our Commander-in-Chief Forum. We had Kiernan here to talk about being a young Afghanistan vet in the midst of the fourth straight U.S. presidential election in which we have been in that war as a country, even if the two candidates and the two parties don't particularly like to fight about that much anymore. Turns out, Marine Peter Kiernan has taken his interest in this election in another very specific direction. About 3 weeks ago, he started a crowdfunding project to try to persuade Republican candidate Donald Trump that he should release his tax returns. And honestly, Peter Kiernan is being very persuasive about this. He set up this CrowdPack site where people can pledge money that will go to 10 different veterans organizations. Here's the catch, though. You don't actually have to make good on your pledge. You don't actually have to pay out that money unless and until Donald Trump releases his tax returns. Donald Trump doesn't get the money, the vets do. Peter Kiernan's original goal was to raise $25,000 for veterans charities if Trump released his taxes. But then, the billionaire co-founder of LinkedIn, a man named Reid Hoffman, he upped the stakes enormously by saying he would match everybody's pledges 5 to 1. He'd pledge $5 for every dollar pledged by anybody else. He'd quintuple the amount people pledged to donate up to $5 million. So that means if Peter Kiernan can get $1 million in pledged donations, Reid Hoffman will pledge an additional $5 million, all to go directly to veterans charities. All Trump has to do to make that happen is release his taxes, and the veterans will get all of that money. With that announcement about the 5 to 1 match, the project took off. They raised $100 grand in 24 hours. As of tonight, donors from 50 states have pledged a total of over $400,000. But do the math. With Reid Hoffman's quintupling pledge, that means if Donald Trump released his tax returns right now, Peter Kiernan would have nearly $2.5 million to donate to these 10 veterans groups. Their deadline for the veterans to get the money for Trump to release his taxes is the day of the third and final presidential debate, October 19th. By then, there may be a pot of $6 million cash ready to be donated to these veterans groups if only Donald Trump releases those returns. None of the money out of his pocket, $6 million to vets. I told you it was pretty persuasive. Joining us now is Peter Kiernan. He served as a Marine Special Operator in Afghanistan. He's now at Columbia University, where he's a founder of the Ivy League Veterans Council. Mr. Kiernan, thank you for your time tonight. Really glad to have you here.
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks for having me again.
Let me ask, first of all, if I got that right, if I explained your persuasive scheme accurately.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. Ever since Reid's joined in, it's been very successful. We've raised an average of $20,000 a day.
Wow.
And I hope that Donald would consider releasing his tax returns to help veterans.
How is being a veteran driving this interest for you? What's the connection between your status as a veteran, your interest in a veteran, your interest in veterans issues, and Trump's taxes?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with Trump's claim about, paying no taxes is a smart thing to do. When I was in Afghanistan, taxes paid for my body armor. Taxes paid for my weapons and my ammunition. Taxes paid for the emergency life flight that my buddies got flown out on when they lost their legs. Taxes pay for Gold Star families for the 14 children that I know today without fathers. And more than that, they support cops and firefighters, every public service that this nation offers. And where I come from, leaders are meant to lead by example, and you inspire those to follow you. And I think that if Trump's free-riding on the political process and the system, then I think that sets a dangerous precedent as a leader.
Has the Trump campaign or anybody from the Trump campaign responded to you at all? Do you expect them to respond to you on this?
Nobody's responded to us directly, but I think that the message is pretty clear. I mean, I'm not looking for a personal response. This isn't about me. We just want to see Trump's tax returns.
Peter Kiernan, decorated Marine veteran, will be graduating from Columbia University next May, created this crowdfunding campaign to get Trump to release his tax returns. Peter, thank you for keeping us up to date on this tonight. Creative approach to it. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate it.
All right. Up next, we have